Hello and welcome. This is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina. And today's fly is the black Pennel. This fly involves a lot of materials, so let's get started. We're going to start with a dry fly hook, size 14. Our thread is black Veevus, size 8 and we're gonna start one eye length behind the eye, and let's lock that thread in and remove the tag, and let's bring it all the way back to the point of the hook. I added a little modification to this fly. It calls to have the tinsel as kind of like a little hot spot behind the tail, but we're going to add Mirage tinsel, Opal color, medium, and this is where we're going to start to tie it in. And what you'll see the difference of the way this will work on the back of the tail. We're going to be throwing tinsel on this, so it's not like we don't have it. I just thought that this looked a lot better and had a lot more flash to be added to the back of the fly. So we're going to tie that in. That's nice and tight, and we're going to cut the remaining off. So essentially what we want to do is we're going to bring our thread up a little bit, and we're just going to wrap this down the bend of the hook. Be careful of the point, and we're just going to overlap it. And we don't want much. We just want to see that color come through, and doesn't need to be that much. We're only going to go down, and now we're going to actually come right back up just to give it that little flash underneath the water on the tail. Oh, it moved on me. Okay. We can come back up to where we can secure this in. It does take a little more time to get this added. But just take your time. And you don't have to do this. This is just something I added for our fly, and our guys seem to like it very much. Okay, so now we're just going to do some wraps. Oh, I lost it. Do some wraps to secure it in. And hackle pliers may may help out a little better of controlling that and the wraps. But we just want to carry this down to the bend of the hook, and there we go. Now we can cut this remaining portion off. Now what we want to add is French tinsel, oval, small. And we want to kind of like leave a little bit so it'll build onto the body, and we won't have a thick rear end of this. Next, what we're adding to the fly as a tail is golden pheasant tippets. And here we have from Hairline Golden Pheasant Tippets, and they're medium. And what we want to do, it'll come in a feather like this. And we want to pull off 5 to 6 strands. That'll make that tail pop really, really well. Okay, and then we're going to wrap that in. And we want to bring it up. And there's a black indicator on this right there. That's where I usually tie it in. So we're going to bring it up on the top of the fly, and you can see that it's just right at the base of that. So we're going to strap this in. See where we're at. Okay, we still have our Opal showing for the hot spot. Now what we need to tie in is we have bigger thread, yarn, not yarn, but thread. It's 4 strand rayon, and each strand is 300 dinar, and we want to tie this in so we can do the body. So we're going to wrap this in and bring it down like we've done everything else. Alright, and then we want to secure this, make sure we're still in a good spot. We're going to bring it back, make sure we're not going over our tinsel. Now we just want to come forward and just wrap all this in. And we still want to stop 1 eye length behind the eye. So we're going to just bring it all the way forward, keeping the body about the same size all the way through. And then we're going to come up and we are going to snip all that off. Okay. And there we go. Alright, so now what we want to do, we want to keep the tinsel out of the way. We want to keep this, and the best way I've seen to roll this nylon, the 4 yarn thread, is just to keep your fingers in it, close contact, and then just flip it over. Try not to get it tangled into your black thread. But you want this to lay flat, and you want it to be tight. So we're just going to do touching wraps where needed, just trying to make the body smooth. And we're going to bring it all the way up to our thread. And do one more, and then we should be able to secure this with some thread. Okay, got 2 wraps. So now we just want to put some tight wraps to secure this. This rayon is not easy to work with if it gets loose, but it looks like we lucked out on this one. So now what we want to do is pull back as much as we can and clip down as much as we can. Alright, and then we're going to come back through and wrap this down. Not too much, because we need that because we're going to put Hackle up there. So now we've got our tinsel, and we're going to bring it with evenly spaced wraps. And right there, I think we got it. And then once we get that in, we can secure. Ooh, yeah, no, we don't want to do that. Sometimes it will not cooperate with you, but just unwind it and then start from scratch. Okay. And we're going back to the even spaced wraps. Hackle pliers do come in handy. I just prefer not to use them. I think they tend to get in the way sometimes. But each to his own. If you feel that they work better for you, then absolutely use them. Alright, we're going to trim this back. Okay, I felt a little movement there, so I'm going to put some more tight wraps here. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to get our hackle, and what we're using for hackle is soft hackle, and it's black. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the very tip to form our Y, to where we can capture the hackle. And you have to be really careful with this soft hackle, because it means what it says. It's literally soft. You usually don't get a second chance of messing around with this stuff, because it's just going to be way too brittle. Okay, we got 3 wraps. I want to come through here and cut that fiber out. Cut up underneath here, and we're going to remove these. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 to 3 wraps. And we just want to see these fibers just poking out. And we can push them back, and we'll use the thread to bring them back as well. But you only want to do... Alright, hopefully I'll have another chance to do this. And you kind of want to keep it as straight as possible. That last rotation wasn't straight, so we're still going to try to keep it straight. And we want these fibers to be pointing backwards. Okay, let's go ahead and lock this down to where we can remove the main portion of the feather without cutting up all our hackle. Okay, get that out. And so now what we can do is we can take these fibers and bring them backwards. I know we still have one back there. And then bring it on, coming back on top of the fly. And that looks good to me. I want to hurry up and get a whip finish on here before I lose my work. Okay, 4, and we're going to do another one. Okay. And there we go. Bring the feathers out and clean up here. We have a step-by-step process for this that were provided to the group that will be added to the comments. If you have any questions, certainly ask in the comments, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. And all of the materials that are used will be in the comment section as well. Thank you, and we appreciate you viewing these videos. Until the next one, this is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Thank you again.